Welcome into post-race conversations here from Atalanta Motor Speedway. I'm Tanner Marlar alongside Brad Harrison, Stephen Stumpf. We have had a fantastic weekend of racing here at AMS, and guys, what a finish tonight. .003 seconds of difference between first and second.
I mean, it's cliche. It happens every time there's a finish like this, but I think have you ever, no, I have never is the only way to describe what we saw tonight. An Atlanta record 48 lead changes, constant battles for the pack, even got 4 wide at one point. And at the end, with the checkered flag in sight, it was Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, and Ryan Blaney side by side, nose to tail, roaring down to the checkered flag. When I saw the finish in the media center, I thought Blaney won. I even shouted out Blaney. It was that close. But it was Suarez who prevailed for his second career win and his first since Sonoma in 2022. 3 1,000ths of a second, but not only that, it was Kyle Busch 7 1,000ths back of Suarez. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we've ever had 3 cars finish in within 1/100th of a second of each other. It was a great race. Obviously, Blaney, Kyle, they were both disappointed that they couldn't get it done. But Kyle was happy to see a Chevy win. Blaney said he's won plenty of these finishes like this, so he knew that sometimes, that's just the way it goes. But yeah, how about that 4-wide action, though?
Yeah, I think the only place I've seen a finish like that, Brad, is the movie Cars.
I think so. And even going back to when they profiled this track a few years ago, one of the things of angst was that the straightaways are going to be even more narrower. But you showed today that you could do this right type of racing, not just 3 wide, but four wide. And even one thing that Daniel Suarez, he was in the mix of people racing all day. But the main thing was Austin Cindric, saw a gap. He went for it, and not only made it 4 wide, but he just whisked right on by. But even one thing Austin Cindric told me post-race was the more impressive thing is the guys behind him, because they got 4 wide when Kyle Busch joined that fray. So the fact that all 4 of those guys could stay 4 abreast and not mop each other out was probably the more impressive thing in itself. But just a credit to, I think these cars have a lot more grip than what you saw yesterday in Xfinity truck, because that's one question that's been asked is, okay, why was today so much more all over the edge than yesterday? And one of those is there was more grip, and also just if you believe in the belief of the law of averages catching up, and you saw today of the old adage of if one day of a race weekend is tame, the other day is not going to be, and that's exactly what you saw here.
It absolutely is. And to kind of stick with the cars, Brad, I think of Front Row Motorsport. Michael McDowell, Todd Gilliland came into this on an absolute heater. Michael McDowell puts his car on the pole. Joey Logano gets pushed to the back of the field to start, and then we have an all front row, and they're unable to capitalize. And I think the question now is, guys, going into Las Vegas, is this kind of some super speedway type fluke, or is front row really here to stay at the top of the field?
Well, I think you got to remember, Michael McDowell last year getting to the postseason was not a fluke. I mean, because there were cases where they were pretty sporty last year on places besides restricted plate tracks, besides road courses. That was the biggest thing you've seen with them in the past, is they've been more consistent. And now with Front Row Motorsports being a Tier 1 operation, that's even more. So for Front Row Motorsports, I think for them is what they've done today, it really validates, okay, this is why Ford Motor Company believes in their capabilities, and they showed up and proved it.
Absolutely. And, Stephen, you got to talk to Todd a little bit this week about that Tier 1 sponsorship. Tell us, just before we go here, what all that's kind of entailed so far.
Basically, that entails, along with the alliance with Team Penske, basically they're getting all the information now. They're sharing everything. So basically they're kind of in that capacity in Ford now. They're basically towards the top, and I think we've seen all that performance here. Yes, it's drafting races. Yes, it's not the same as Las Vegas next week, but McDowell started second at Daytona. He finally broke through with his first pole today. Todd Gilliland also had his first best qualifying effort of 4th. He led the most laps today at 58. All those are career best. Front Row also set a record for the most laps led in a single race. It was, I believe, 85, one of those. So it was quite the race. And keep in mind, if we're wondering about if this will continue as we go to Las Vegas in other weeks, McDowell, they've always been great plate racers. I mean, Front Row, that was their bread and butter starting out. It was David Reagan winning at Talladega in 2013. McDowell won the Daytona 500. McDowell's always been a contender at these tracks. But what we've seen the last 2 weeks is they're contending like they have not contended before. They've been legitimately some of the fastest cars And that goes for Gilliland as well. So I think when we look at front row these last 2 weeks, I think we're going to see a lot of the same going into Las Vegas, and I think they're going to be the team to watch, heading into this year.
Absolutely. That's about all the time we've got here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. As always, thank you to our wonderful, wonderful team at Frontstretch. We'll see you guys in Vegas.
Attention drivers. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level and leave your competition in the dust?
Imagine your own custom digital trading cards showcasing your journey, your victories, and your unique style.
Fans don't just want to see you on the track, they want to own a piece of your legacy. And with Raceface Digital, they can.
It's more than just the checkered flag. It's about creating a digital connection with your fans,
where off-track advantages become on-track victories. Enroll now at racefacedigital.com.
Hi, this is Stephen Stumpf. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Check out the 2 videos beside me, and for more racing content, visit frontstretch.com.